So the question everyone is asking is, were we able to add 10 pounds of muscle on our boy Blueberry within 30 days? And the answer to that is yes.
Down right here?
Yeah. There you have it. There you have it, guys. There you have it. Our boy Blueberry. 30 days. 30-day challenge. Clean your eye, puppy. 30-day challenge. There you go. I got nothing. There's nothing on the weights. Nothing on the weights. However, I had to make a couple of changes as we were moving forward because we started out a bit sluggish. For those of you that haven't watched the dietary video as to what we're going to be feeding, how much, and how we're going to go about this whole thing, I'm going to make sure I leave a link to this video either in the description below or all the way at the end of this video. It is really important for you to know what it is we were feeding and how much of it, so that if you're trying to repeat this, you can do it the right way. Now, back to Blueberry adding the 10 pounds. I can tell you the first week was not spectacular. We only added 2 pounds of muscle, but I felt at the time that it had more to do with the fact that we were changing up his diet and that it might take a little bit for it to get going. By the end of week number 2, he had put on a total of 4 pounds. That was 2 pounds in week 1 and 2 pounds in week 2. Now, don't get me wrong, the trajectory was going to lead us to 8 pounds in 30 days. But I kind of felt I had to do something to get him gaining a little bit more. The one change we did do is we added a 1/4 cup of papaya to each and every single feed. Now, papaya has an enzyme called papain. Papain within itself is not going to help your dog build muscle. But what it will do is it will let the dog absorb more of what it's already eating. When it comes to protein, it will actually increase the intake of protein between 20 and 40%. By the time we got done with week 3, this boy was actually weighing 7 pounds more than where we started. It's pretty significant if you think about it. He put on 3 pounds on week 3 versus 2 pounds on week 2 and 2 pounds in week 1. We went ahead and continued the papaya for week 4, adding an additional 3 pounds, bringing his total to 10 pounds of muscle added. Now, I know the title said within 30 days. Today is December 4th. The original video I made was November 7th. So in reality, we added 10 pounds of muscle in 27 days. I could only wonder what would have happened had we been feeding him that 1/4 cup of papaya from the very start. Now, did I see some changes in Blueberry? Absolutely I did. Not only did he look heavier, thicker in the neck and the shoulders and the chest, even though he didn't stop his activity of running up and down the fence with a neighbor's dog, I could tell he was starting to become a bit restrictive in his movements. He also wasn't as fast, which is understandable. He now has more mass on him. We cannot forget that Blueberry is actually 16 months old. And I did this more than anything to test him out, to see where his limits were. Going forward, I'm actually going to bring his weight down about 5 pounds and allow his body to mature at regular rate. Seeing what I've seen, how fast he was able to put weight on, tells me his genetics were there, his nutrition was there, and his exercise and rest were there. But seeing some limitations in his movements tells me that right now is not the time to be maximizing the weight on him. I have no doubt when he matures, he will get wider. And when he does, I really wouldn't put it past him that at some point he could reach 85, possibly 90 pounds. But that's not truly my objective. But what I'm saying is I see that the potential is there. The other thing I did notice from Blueberry was the closer we were getting to the end of this trial, he was actually not wanting to eat as much. He would leave maybe 5%, 10% of his food. And definitely at no point did I force him to eat it or anything like that. In my mind, I knew what was happening, and it was simply his body letting him know that he's really close to reaching his limits. At no point did we exercise Blueberry any more than 5 minutes a day, allowing him to run up and down with a neighbor's dog. And that's because we made sure that we had plenty of natural anti-inflammatories on board. At no point did I see him limp or have any type of joint issues, even though I can tell that his movements were becoming more and more restrictive as he was adding all this muscle. So what did I learn out of all this? I learned that mTOR is alive and well, that blocking myostatin or blocking inflammation actually allows the dog to gain more, and that stimulating the IGF-1 or the growth hormone is not necessarily as difficult as you think. If you want to know how to do these things, make sure to click on this video. It's the previous video to this that's going to give you all the insight you need. And I'll be catching you right here.